Turning service teams into dynamic spiritual communities. Part one. What? Me? Spiritual leader? Your church has asked you to serve as a leader, which is something you may have experienced in another context, such as leading a business, teaching a class, leading a group of athletes or musicians, or serving in another nonprofit organization. The difference is that the church needs you to be a spiritual leader. And that is where some people get very uncomfortable. And the reason why is that we have a lot of misconceptions about what a spiritual leader is and what qualifies someone to be a spiritual leader. Is a spiritual leader someone who has had mystical experiences, possesses esoteric knowledge, is closer to God than ordinary mortals, or someone who floats a few inches above the ground? We are not looking for any of these things, and it's not how we define a spiritual leader. A spiritual leader is someone who is willing and able to help someone else take their next step in drawing closer to God. Additionally, a spiritual leader is someone who can create a group of people or a community in which others can grow closer in their relationship to God. That means that your primary role as a spiritual leader is not about accomplishing a task. Your team and you probably have tasks that we've asked you to do, such as setting up for church or keeping the church safe or producing a piece of music for Sunday morning. And we are confident that you and your team have everything that you need and can accomplish the tasks that we've asked. But it's not job number one. Your number one job, whether you are paid staff or a volunteer leader, is to invest in people and to create groups where others can grow in their relationship to God. That is why this material is called Turning Service Teams into Dynamic Spiritual Communities. Let me give you two biblical examples that will flesh out what I mean. In Isaiah 1, the prophet Isaiah criticizes the people of his day. Technically, they have done everything God has asked them to do. They've gotten all the spiritual and religious things right. They do all the festivals, all the religious rituals exactly as the Torah prescribes. But none of this is a reflection of their love for God or leading to a love for other people. And so the Lord says through Isaiah, even if you get all the stuff technically right, and even if you do your religious services with excellence, if it's not a reflection of your love for me, and if it's not leading to a love for other people, then it's completely useless to me. Churches can be amazing. They can do all kinds of things without ever really touching heaven or ever touching the world with God's love. Take the Apostle Paul. In his second letter to the Corinthians, he is writing because the people are beginning to ignore him, though he is their spiritual father. And why are they ignoring him? Well, in spite of Paul being brilliant and writing some of our first Christian theology, apparently Paul was not a very impressive public speaker. And the church at Corinth has found other speakers and other preachers who are far more impressive than Paul. And Paul admits that he is not the best public speaker. But he says, the reason you should listen to me is not because I'm flashy and not because I'm impressive, but because you have seen in me a life of integrity, a cross shaped life that demonstrates the love of Jesus. And I have led you in a Jesus centered kind of way. My words may not be impressive, but the weight behind them is a life that has been shaped by the goodness of God. That is what we're looking for in a spiritual leader. Yes, we want you to be talented. Yes, we want you to have skills, and we believe that you have those. But more important than the ability to impress us with your skills and ability, we want to see a heart that has love for God and a heart that has love for others. Next time, we will talk about why It's not about the cookies.